At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back at it on Live Bet Sunday. This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. An update when it comes to our final Elite Eight matchup. The Auburn Tigers lead Michigan State 33-24 at the half. Second half number has Sparty laying a half a point. Your second half total, 77.5. Will Hill, Dustin Swedelson here for another hour on the program. Anything jump out to you there with Sparty laying half a point and the total 77.5?
It's been a pretty slow pace, which I think probably, and I think Barkley's saying this right now, more of a Michigan State thing. Auburn wants to get out and run. So we'll keep an eye on the pace in the second half. I would look towards under just because it's been low possessions. The refs seem to be letting them play. We only had a handful of fouls until a couple late at the end, and one of them was important. What happened? What happened, Dustin?
2 on, 1 out for Arizona. Alec Thomas hits a bomb and pimps it. Caught at the warning track. Sack fly scores a run, but I thought I was going to have a 3-run home run on team total over 4.5. But, dude, he cranks it to right center, and he definitely pimped it a little. He thought it was gone. He went into a jog and everything. Come on, killing me here. Arizona finally on the board, though. No, they're replaying it. Watch him pimp it. He pimps it.
Yeah, a half a pimp.
It's a poor pimp.
How did that ball not get out, though?
Oh, it looked good. I'll give him credit. Look, he's not wrong. Off the bat, thought he got all of it. I thought he got all of it. But that's brutal when you're on over 4.5 team total for Arizona, and you think you're getting 3 in one shot in the sixth. Man, that is a killer. So I need Corbin Carroll here to do some magic. By the way, Corbin Carroll, one of my favorite MVP futures bets. I
know you love it.
If Ohtani gets hurt, you got to find someone to back. It's Corbin Carroll and it's Jackson Churio for me. I think a little Ellie De La Cruz, but you just never know if the batting average is going to be there.
I worry that anything in the National League is dead money and that you're betting against an injury.
I know.
Now, they're being kind of sketchy about when Ohtani's going to pitch, so maybe voter fatigue sets in, although I feel like in baseball, that's less of a case. These writers just based on the stats.
Those old guys getting fatigue, are you kidding me? They love the same thing over and over again. They're still talking about the same stuff they talked about 30 years ago and analyzing the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just wonder, like, they're just going to keep giving this guy the award, or does he have to outdo himself, sort of like Jokic in the past and Lamar Jackson in the past in these other sports?
No, yeah.
If Ohtani's going to make even a half a season worth of starts and do what he does at the plate, how is he not winning the MVP barring injury?
No, they'll start to do their thing where they shift, right? And we see it's so inconsistent in every sport. And you only know this if you bet into these awards markets. Is in one sport, it'll be like, well, it's the best player. Of course he's going to be the MVP. The other sports could be, well, he's not the best player. He's the most valuable. And what would his team be without him? They'll just shift the goalpost when they get sick of hearing about Ohtani being the greatest baseball player of all time, which he is, by the way. But they'll just move the goalpost there, to borrow a term from football for baseball. That's all that will happen. But I think we're still maybe a year or two away from that happening.
What's he won? He's won at least 3, right? He won 2 with the Angels, then 1 last year with the Dodgers. So this would be number 4. 4 is a lot. I mean, not too many guys that have won 4, but I don't know. I'm trying to think if I took anyone in the MVP.
He's got 3 MVPs. 3.
He's got 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he won in 21, I think, and he's won the last 2 years.
Let's see how many MLB players have won 4 MVPs. That is a great question by you. I know Barry Bonds.
5, 6, something like that. Bonds, I think, has 7.
You know what? None. Bonds has 7. The next one is a group of 3s.
So 1. So Bonds is the only one.
And by the way, I still think it holds true. The only 2-time MVP not in the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's a name you're never going to get.
The only two-time
MVP.
MVP.
Now, you know
Maris?
what? You know what? The steroid era ruined it. There's not including the steroid era.
I would say Roger Maris. I don't know.
No, it's Dale Murphy.
Oh, okay.
But like A-Rod, two-time MVP, three-time MVP.
Yeah, sure.
So unfortunately, all these steroid guys ruined my trivia. So that's a bummer there. But yeah, he's the only one. You know what? Roger Maris won 2 MVPs. You're right.
Hey, man. That's what I'm here for.
Why was that? That was a trivia question for so long. I don't know why I thought it was just Dale Murphy. So look at you.
Your whole life has been a lie, Dustin. Your whole life has been a lie.
There's a lot of truth to that. Me and my therapist, that's what we talk about for an hour every Wednesday, 11 a.m. A lot of my life has been a lie, and I feel like I'm living in a with the Truman Show where people are watching me just screw things up left and right, like random trivia questions about two-time MVPs. So there's that. He's Will Hill. I'm Dustin Swedelson. This is Live Bet Sunday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Again, your second half line is Michigan State laying a half a point, trailing 33-24 to Auburn. 134.5 is your total there. We have 2 baseball games in action currently. Make that 3. Cubs up 3-1 on the Diamondbacks. Right now you can get plus 360 on Arizona if you think they can get to the Cubs bullpen. And remember, the Cubs used Ryan Presley yesterday. So I'm not sure if he's available back-to-back days, opening series of the weekend. Brian Wu and the Mariners up 2-1 on the Athletics. Right now, plus 650 on the A's. That feels like a big number, and I do kind of like the A's lineup this year. And then they're in the 7th in Chicago. I know it's a series you're locked into, Will, because you're just built different. The White Sox and Angels tied up at 2s.
Yeah, that's one that has not been too much on my radar. Yeah, I'm on that split screen, the 720, that shows you like all the games going on, and that's not even on there. So maybe it's some weird blackout rule, which those blackout rules just drive you crazy. Oh, 2-2, it's in a rain delay. Maybe that's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The other one's 3-1, like you said, 3-1 Cubs, 2-1 Mariners. I just worry, the A's probably gonna have to see Munoz here. The A's gonna be able to get a run off Munoz. Is that enough to take a number? Let me see the live line.
It's a big
plus 575.
Number.
If they tie it, you can hedge back. I don't know. Feels I probably need a little more.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Let me see. Andres Munoz numbers, though, against the bats for...
Yeah, who's due up for Oakland? That's a key. Not Oakland.
Yeah, I know. Dude, we're going to do this. It's the Chargers all over again. I know people who still call them... I think Steve Fezzik, who's listening, still calls them the San Diego Chargers half the time.
Yes.
So Andres Munoz taking on the A's. Everyone just has like one hit against him. Rooker does have a homer, though, and 2 at-bats.
So. Rooker's due up. Who's leading off?
Let's see. We're end of the 8th, so top 9. We're looking at, no, I think it's the bottom of the lineup. Urshela, okay. Pareda, and Schumann. So, yeah, that should be quick work for Munoz. So that's a good call by you. Always look at the lineup. And, by the way, the top of the order for the A's, Butler and Rooker 0 for 8 combined today. Both of them doing nothing offensively. Yeah. And that's not going to get it done if you want to back the A's this year. They're going to be feisty. They're going to be a good team. They're not going to get smoked like they did in years past.
I know you mentioned the Sunday night game. I have a feeling the Braves at plus money get off the schneid here and avoid the 0-4. So I'd be inclined to bet Atlanta here. What do you have anything in terms of this game? Yeah,
so Braves plus 105, Padres minus 125, totals 8. San Diego going for the 4-game sweep, as you mentioned. They've outscored Atlanta 12-7 in these 3 games. A.J. Smith-Shawver on the bump for Atlanta. 1 start last year, 5-23, 4.26 ERA in that run. And then it's Pivetta going for the Padres. Pavetta's a very serviceable arm. He's not special, but he does rack up the strikeouts. He signed a 4-year, $55 million deal with the Padres this year. I think he actually benefits from the ballpark change. If you look back at his career, he played in Fenway. He played in Philly. Sometimes you can get, shorted when it comes to guys just getting easy home runs with those weird dimensions there. I really like him in this matchup specifically. I think I would look at Pivetta to go over 16.5 outs recorded. It's not an official play, but he's going to face a Braves lineup with no Acuna, no Murphy. And I also think that the bats are not quite there yet for Atlanta. You have a lot of guys for the Braves coming off injuries a year ago. Riley missed the end of the year with a wrist or hand injury. Albies came back and only hit right-handed last year to finish the year. It's still a lot of guys getting right physically. So I think Pivetta has a chance to work deep into this game. We'll go over 16.5 outs recorded on Pivetta.
We can both win this. I don't know. I'll have to check how many pitches he threw in spring training, his last spring training outing. Usually these guys are around the 70s, and they bump up to like 80-something in their first start. Under 4.5 hits allowed for Pivetta is what I'm going to play.
What was that one? What'd you say? It was what?
Under 4.5 hits allowed for Pivetta.
Okay, that's probably, you know what, we both can win, and there's a chance we both do win. So I like that play by you. You're probably not great at betting every sport. I'm not, certainly. We'll let Rhythm help you get better. The best bettors use data to get ahead, so why not put AI to work for you this March? Rhythm is an app that helps you build personalized betting models, analyze trends, and make sharper picks for every game. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or looking for an edge on those tournament teams, Rhythm has you covered with AI-backed projections and insights. Start your free 7-day trial today by downloading the app or visiting rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com. Dustin Swedelson, Will Hill. This is Live Bet Sunday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Still 3-1 Cubs in the 7th, Arizona at the plate. We'll keep you updated on what happens there. The Athletics in the 9th, looking to score runs off of Munoz and Seattle trailing 2-1. And we'll have the second half action in the Elite Eight matchup between Michigan State and Auburn coming your way in the next segment. But also, there is some NBA about to happen. And it's the Trailblazers and the Knicks. And it's the Knicks without Brunson. It's not a sexy matchup. However, I have 3 bets in this game alone. We're going to break them down. In fact, one of them will plus 750, one of the player props, when it comes to Trailblazers, Blazers. I'll break that down, discuss it all, coming up next. So we've got a lot to get to this afternoon. You got to love these days in sports. It's basketball, it's baseball, there's hockey. I'm told there's golf happening, but I don't pay attention. We'll discuss all that next on Live Bet Sunday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Live Bet Sunday. This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. He's Will Hill. I'm Dustin Swedelson, and I stink at managing the clock. Knicks and Trailblazers just underway. However, these picks have been available over at VSiN.com/picks all morning long. 3 bets on this game. Josh Hart over 6.5 assists. Josh Hart to record a triple-double, plus 750. He had 11-11-9 against the Trailblazers last time. No Brunson, no Payne, no McBride. That's a lot of guards out. I see more facilitating for Josh Hart in this one. And also Shaedon Sharpe for Portland over, I believe it's 18.5 points. He scored over 20 against the Knicks a few weeks ago. Knicks are really bad against shooting guards. Those are the 3 plays. They're available there. You could probably still get them in-game. So that's where we stand there. He's Will Hill. I'm Dustin Swedelson. The Mariners closed it out, Will. Munoz allows a single and then closes the door, and Seattle ends up taking the final game of the series with the Athletics.
Yeah, they win the game 2-1. Bold prediction: it will not be their last 2-1 game of the season. They're going to play a lot of 2-1 games because they can pitch and they just can't hit. But they win this game, and a lot of low-scoring games between these two teams these first 3 or 4 nights.
And they even the series up 2-2. A's were up 2-1 coming into this one, so 2-2. They'll walk away from the opening series of the MLB season at 500, which is better than a lot of teams, including the Braves, who we just mentioned in the last segment, looking for their first win after dropping 3 on the road in San Diego. Whenever it's the Braves in San Diego, I think about that one off season where the Padres just went and sold everyone, right? Where they just previously bought the Uptons in Kimbrel, and then they sent them to the Braves. Remember that? Man, Justin Upton, talk about a guy falling off a cliff at the end of his career. Good God.
Kate Upton still got it, however.
You're
right, though.
No, for sure. No, she's, there's no arguing
EJ
there.
Upton, too. Those guys were both pretty highly lauded prospects. And both guys, I don't want to say didn't live up to the hype. Just Justin had a pretty long career.
It ended abruptly.
Decent career, but ended abruptly is a good way to play it. We were Doesn't it feel like these second halves, these halftimes take a while? It feels like we've been in halftime for Auburn, Michigan State for a good half hour or so. This is a long time.
I feel like the general time flow of these games, something is off.
Not good.
It's not what we're used to. I don't like it. It's like working out, stop sweating, and then you work out again, right? Like you do your cardio, you stop sweating, then you do weights. It's like, no, you just want to roll right into this. Let's keep going here. I think it's too much time for the kids sometimes to get out in the second half too, where they've been sitting around too long. So we're underway in the second half. Auburn's up 33-24. Let's get you a live number here. So currently in the market, you've got Auburn laying 9.5, and that total is down to 133.5, Will Hill.
Yeah, it's been a slow half, and we do get a foul right away here, not shooting foul on Michigan State, but not a lot of fouls, not a lot of pace, which would all lend itself to an under here. So we are way down from the pregame total. Remember, this started, there were 12 points 2.5 minutes in the game, and we went all the way up to 154.5 or something right away, and it's just been slowly plummeting as Auburn had a wide-open dunk or layup. The kid just threw it out of bounds, Michigan State ball.
Yeah, but where do you stand mentally on your -4.5 ticket? Because I got to tell you, I feel like there's no doubt we get home tonight with that bet.
Oh, man. Your confidence scares me. I feel like confidence angers the gambling gods. I know there's no proof for it, and it's irrational, but I just feel like as Michigan State, they blow an alley-oop, but the ball rims around and goes in, a lucky bounce. So instead of being up 11 on the other end, Auburn blows an opportunity. Michigan State gets a friendly bounce, and now we're back at 7. So Michigan State hanging around as Auburn answers here.
I've got 35-26 Auburn, 18:50 left, just a couple minutes underway here. But, man, Michigan State going for those twos in the post. Hey, that's one way to go about it. You're down 9. Let's go for some twos. I mean, it's their style of play. I understand that, but at the same time, you're gonna have to start trading threes for twos here.
Yeah, I mean, you're early for that. You're down 7. There's 18 minutes to go. The game plan, like you said, though, is pretty clear that they're trying to get the ball inside, maybe get some fouls, get to the line, and chip away at the lead that way as they get a turnover and a foul going the other way. So a decent start here for Michigan State to start the second half.
Hey, Will, in Arizona, the Diamondbacks have the bases loaded with 1 out. They've plated a run this inning on a single, and they have a chance to clear my total here with 1 swing of the bat. Over 4.5 on Arizona. It looks like Thielbar on the bump, who came over from Minnesota, is having some issues, and he's facing Suarez, who has hit a couple bombs to start the year now. So he's behind 1-0, 3-2 ball game. 1 swing of the bat could get it all back. We could have a good day here in baseball. So I know it's just me, but maybe someone else tailed me on that play. They want to know what's happening when it comes to Cubs Diamondbacks right now. Because, by the way, that other game, what inning we're in the 7th here? Dude, see, I would want my money back if I'm going to a Seattle Mariners game. I am not getting my money's worth in terms of time of entertainment in front of me. No one hits.
It does go too quickly. It's been
anything.
I know. It's been a good rule to speed up these games, but I noticed it. We live not too far from a minor league team, the Hartford Yard Goats, which is the AA team of the Rockies, and go to those games sometimes. Sometimes you look up and it's like, man, you just settle in and you're in the 4th or 5th inning. So it does. That is the one thing from the fans visiting, especially if you're driving a couple hours to these games.
Yeah.
Man, I want to settle in, watch batting practice, spend the night at the ballpark, and you get one of these crisp 2-hour games. You do feel like you're shortchanged a little bit.
Dude, you can't even get your buzz on and then sober up for the drive home anymore. So just stay away from the beers at the game. It's crazy. One thing you probably saw at the minor league game, though, this is random off topic, as Suarez strikes out to make it 2 outs with bases loaded. This is killing me. So many runners left on for the Diamondbacks today. But have you gone to a game where they use the robo-umps? Because I went to one here in Vegas, and I got to tell you, it was smooth sailings. It was a very easy watch, the game.
I liked it during spring training. Not that I watched a ton of spring training, but it was pretty seamless. All right, bad call. The guy taps his head, and we fix it. And you could tell the hitters were kind of annoyed watching opening days. Like, man, all spring we got these right. Now you're going to call a pitch 8 inches outside. And they started to tap their helmet, and there's nothing they can do. It's frustrating. I don't think that we're going to be long for this current form of baseball where we don't have the robo-umps. Those robo-umps are coming to Major League Baseball sooner rather than later.
Oh, they're coming for our jobs, too. AI is coming for everything. Don't worry about it. By the way, a big 3 from Auburn there to extend their lead. So now we're looking at, it's back to an 8-point game. They're laying 7.5, 134.5 total. Look, we got a better number of laying 4.5. If I was going to bet something, I would lay it with Auburn right now. I just think they keep extending, and they run Michigan State out of the gym before this thing's over.
Yeah, it's a nice pace for Michigan State, though. It's slow, it's plodding. They don't want to get into a full court game here with Auburn. That is either the second or third foul. They just called Auburn for an on-the-floor foul. I thought that was the third one. So if that is the third foul, these are starting to add up a little too quickly. If you're Auburn, as the kid on Michigan State felt the hand on him and just did a rip through to try and draw the foul, and it worked. So they're still showing only 2 team fouls. I could have swore there was a third foul in there. But 1 foul on Michigan State, 2 fouls for Auburn, at least for now. So still not something that is a problem for either team, but always good to keep an eye on these foul situations in terms of betting the total or trying to gain an advantage one way or another.
By the way, there's a woman at the bar here that is my absolute hero. She just ordered a beer, a shot, and has a liquor drink with it's like a rum and Coke.
There you go.
Maybe. She's my freaking hero. If you're going to do Vegas, do it right, people. I'm at the D. Sure. It's downtown Las Vegas. You're going to come here, hang out, watch games. Hang out with this lady. This lady rules. That's who I want to party with. As Sparty gets a bucket, back to an 8-point game here. Kohler, 10 points, 4 of 6 from the field for the big fella for Michigan State right now. We're at an 8-point game at the 16-minute mark. However, Auburn up to 8.5-point favorite. 8.5-point favorite for Auburn right now. Hey, look, your bracket may be done, but the tournament isn't. Neither are your chances to win. How do you do that? You become a VSiN Pro subscriber for just $9.99 today. Turn your tournament heartbreak into betting success. What do you get by becoming a VSiN Pro? I'm happy you asked. Picks from all of our hosts and guests, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access to the VSiN Watch app, plus expert analysis, all the articles that our team writes covering every single sports to set up your day in betting. Don't let a busted bracket keep you from winning. Sign up at vsin.com/subscribe for just $9.99, and that's vsin.com/subscribe. He's Will Hill. I'm Dustin Swedelson. I don't know where you stand with baseball futures, Will. I'd like to get your thoughts of what you have in pocket, because this may come as a surprise to you. I only have one bet, and you and I discussed it months ago. It's the Diamondbacks to win the World Series. There's a few more that I'm thinking of adding to the portfolio. We can break those down when we return from the break. An update in New York. Portland is up 15-9. Josh Hart at the free throw line, about to shoot a second free throw. So Trailblazers jumping on the Brunson-less Knicks at MSG. And we'll take you through the next few minutes of Michigan State and Auburn. Current number, Tigers laying 7.5. Your total, 135.5, with War Eagle up 40-32. That's a lot. We got a lot to get to and not a lot of time to do it. Just stick around. Quick break. We'll do it all when we return on Live Bet Sunday.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back in. It's Live Bet Sunday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Dustin Swedelson, hanging out with Will Hill. I'm live at the D in downtown Las Vegas, where the crowd is piling in to check out all of the games going on right now. We've got hockey, we've got college basketball, we've got NBA, we've got baseball now. It's a great time of year to be a sports fan. I think we all agree, Will, right? Like, football season is the best, but don't get me wrong. This little window where we get everything else kind of on top of each other, it's pretty special, especially when once it's the hockey and the NBA playoffs at the same time.
Yes. I love the March, that 2-3 week stretch when you get conference tournaments into the tournament. October, when you get all of the football combined with the baseball playoffs, is really good. April, May, we know it's a good night is the NFL draft, when you have the NFL draft, NBA playoffs, baseball, NHL playoffs. That's a great night. But yeah, this is the good stuff.
Kyle Tucker just went yard to make it. Cubs 6, Diamondbacks 2, top of the 8th inning. It's his second homer of the year. It's a guy in a contract year. That's a guy that's been really productive down in Houston. The question is always, can he stay healthy? he may be one of the options if something happens to Shohei Ohtani, where Kyle Tucker could be an MVP candidate. The question is, will he be doing that as a member of the Chicago Cubs at the end of the season, Will?
Yeah, and you figure they're going to have to play well enough, which, look, all these teams make the playoffs now, or a lot of these teams make the playoffs now, so most of these teams are in the race. I'd expect the Cubs to be in the race and to hang on to them, but it is worth something to think about, especially guys like Alcantara, where I'm going to bet him for Cy Young. Yeah, well, he could get traded to the Yankees or the Red Sox or whoever, as I'm seeing a lot of scoring in this basketball game. 47-38. The live total is up to, let's see here, 140.5. So this dipped as low as like 132.5 not that long ago. But the pace is picked up. The scoring is picked up. It feels like we've played most of this game. Auburn got up by 15. Michigan State cut it down to 7-8 right away. We feels like we played most of this game in like a 6 to 9 point bubble. Michigan State can't get any closer. Auburn can't quite pull away. And we just played between this bubble of like 6 and 9 points of Auburn just continuing to keep this team at arm's length.
Sparty's getting looks, Will. I mean, they're getting good shots down in the paint, and they're just not able to finish. Now, some of that is some of the length for Auburn's difficult to deal with, but they're also just not hitting open looks, and you can't have that happen. You can't give the ball back and allow Auburn to just hoist up a three. Luckily, they missed it, but at some point, Auburn's going to start shooting more threes, and Michigan State's just going to be looking up and not be able to get back into this one. So it is a 9-point game, but it could be closer if Michigan State could just hit some easy looks.
Yeah, 3-pointers this half. They just showed it. Auburn 1 of 6. Michigan State's not really trying. And you brought it up right away. You were on top of it. Their game plan is to go inside. They've only shot 1-3 this first half. I think they were 2 of 12, 2 of 13 in the first half. And they've gone away from that. So I'm sure at halftime, so, this is not effective. Let's get the ball inside. Let's try to get some easy buckets. Let's try to get offensive rebounds, get to the foul line, and let's try to win that way. So the 3-point shot has been somewhat disregarded here by Michigan State in the second half, as Auburn is up by 9. And again, they're just keeping them at arm's length here.
By the way, it could be a lot worse on the other end too. Auburn's 4 of 19 from 3. This is the team that shoots 37% from 3. So they're shooting 21% beyond the arc. A lot of the production for them. Janai Broome with 12 minutes to go, 22, 12, and 2, plus a steal and a block. Good God. That guy is an absolute monster. But this could be way worse. Auburn could have a really big lead if they hit about 2 or 3 of those threes.
Yeah, it feels like Michigan State is. It's almost like when you have a loose tooth that's just wiggling.
Yeah.
And any sort of thing, any wrong bite here, it's going to pop out. Any sort of like 8-2, 7-0 run by Auburn is going to put this thing away. It's just Auburn hasn't been able to finish them off, and Michigan State hasn't been able to really put a dent in this lead where all of a sudden it's a 1-2 possession game and Auburn starts to get tight. That's the one thing, if you're Michigan State, all right, let's get this thing to 4 or 5. They're going to get tight. This crowd that's loud, that's pro-Auburn, maybe get a little nervous, and the crowd can backfire a little bit. But you got to get it closer than where you're at now if you're Michigan State.
Abso-freaking-lutely. By the way, in that Knicks Trailblazers game, with about 33 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Knicks have cut that lead now to a 2-point game. Portland up 24-22. So that game getting interesting there. Remember, we're on Josh Hart over assists. He has 2 in the first quarter, so we're pacing well. Also need a triple-double, not pacing that well. He has 2, 2, and 2. 2, 2, and 2. As Auburn, did they just hit a 3?
The 3 is up. The 3 is good. 50-38. Auburn leads as the crowd is going crazy. They can start to smell it. You can tell if you're Auburn, you start to smell it. Michigan State has a pretty good look at the other end, misses the layup, and then they got Sparty for a foul. We're going the other way at the under 12 timeout. Michigan State now with 5 fouls, Auburn with 5 fouls. So keep that in mind as you start to creep towards the bonus if you're playing the total one way or another. We're at 136.5 right now for the total, 11.5 for the line, as Auburn is on the brink of pulling away. Still within striking distance if you're Michigan State, but this is again danger territory for Sparty.
I'm curious, Will, what was your national title pick? I know you and I both got screwed with Final Four because we went on a limb and didn't do chalk like everyone else.
Yeah.
I had St. Mary's in the Final Four. You had San Diego. What was your title matchup?
Duke over Florida. I did the 3-1 seeds and I did UC San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say
Like
Mary's
Duke
in
over
there.
Florida.
I'd say Mary's in there. Good God. I mean, on the air for that game last week, it was like, what the hell was I thinking? St. Mary's, just a bunch of white dudes who can't shoot
awful.
the three.
Never again. Never again with St. Mary's. Never again.
No, dude.
And honestly, the first few times I did my bracket, I just started going, sometimes, all right, let me just kind of pencil it out.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do this, do that. The first few times I had all 4 1 seeds. I had a hard time getting past the 1 seeds. And I said, I can't go on the air and just give out the 1 seeds. So I'll throw in UC San Diego. I had Illinois making a run. But I have a rare bracket where it looks like I'm going to get 3 of the 4 Final Four teams and still not have a good bracket somehow.
Oh, that's a good call. I'm only going to get 2, and it's Auburn and Houston. So unfortunate there for me. I believe I had St. John's in the Final Four. I'll be straight. That one hurt your boy. That was my biggest bet of the year, was 50-1 on St. John's to win it all. To go down the way it did was just absolutely brutal. Just not hitting open looks. You know what? Not that dissimilar from Michigan State today, where you're getting opportunities to score. You're just not capable of putting the ball in the basket.
Got to put the biscuit in the basket. What's going on? I've got a Diamondbacks in like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks in like 8 minutes. Are you okay? Is everything
No,
okay?
top of the 8th. Cubs just keep getting hits. They're up 6-2. They got like 2 runners on right now, I think. So where were you on the Cubs this year? Because I thought the market had them way overrated. They were like plus 125 to win the Central.
Yeah, I didn't buy that.
I don't think they're that good. I think you're relying
What was their
on
number, by the way? What was their win total?
I don't remember the win total, but I do know from a futures for the World Series, they were the biggest odds on a potential division favorite. They were 30-1 to win the World Series. No other division, like they were way down the board. Oh, it looks like a member of Chicago, Nico Horner's using one of those bats that the Yankees are using.
Oh.
So I wonder if
torpedo. So it's called the torpedo bat. So yeah, this edge the Yankees have, if they have an edge, is not going to last long. This is going to be integrated quickly to these other teams. It's not going to take long. These players are we've all got the internet. We've all got cable. These guys see the Yankee guys going deep left and right. You say, what am I doing here? Let's get me one of those bats. So
it's got to be
really
weird though.
It is interesting. What's that?
It's just got to be weird because your whole swing, like now the heavy part of the bat is towards the middle. I can't imagine that's easy to just learn on the fly how to swing with that thing.
It almost looks like an aluminum bat, just the way it's just when you see a picture of it. It does have an odd look to it.
And you know what? I think it just paid dividends for Nico Horner there. A pitch that normally would have jammed him, he was able to hit it pretty hard through the right side. So that's interesting watching it play out that way. It's not just home run balls. It's just hitting the ball hard. The bat reminds me of my buddy that we nicknamed him in high school, Coke Can. That's what the bat reminds me of. Won't tell you why we nicknamed him Coke Can, but
okay.
Has a similar feel. 50-38, Auburn leads Michigan State. 11:38 to go right now. Your live number, Will Hill, it is 12.5. Auburn laying 12 and a hook. Total 137.5 there. That's where we stand. It does feel Auburn's running away with it. However, as someone who's been okay with laying 7.5 with Auburn throughout this game, I think we are approaching a point where you take it with Michigan State if you're going to bet it.
I was just going to ask, if you had to take it or lay it right now, what would you do? So you would take it?
I would have taken the 12.5. It just moved to 11. I would take 11.5 as well. 10.5's getting close. 10.5's getting close. But
I just feel like once the dam opens here, I worry about this being a party here the last 8 minutes in SEC country. That would be my concern.
Yeah, no.
Auburn misses a free throw.
It could be. I'm going to sit still, though. We laid 4.5. It looks like we're on the right side all day long. No sense in getting cute here and losing a bet on a game that you read correctly pre-flop. So Auburn's at the free throw line. Team total, by the way,
down to 62.5 for Sparty. Team total down to 62.5. So I think gave that out at 66.5 earlier. So if you're inclined to, you think Michigan State's going to try to up the tempo, maybe you can go for a middle, but we're in good shape, I think.
All right, we'll monitor Michigan State and Auburn. It's a 12-point game when we return, but also Arizona comes to the plate. Can I cash this freaking team total over? That's next on Live Bet Sunday.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A developing situation happening in Auburn, Michigan State. We'll tell you about that in one moment. This is Live Bet Sunday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Auburn is up 10, 50-40, a little over 9.5 minutes to go in the game. But the story is Player of the Year candidate Johni Broome went down on a play going for a rebound and ended up holding his elbow, it looks like. Elbow, maybe forearm area. And he is not currently in the game. He's in some pain. He's on the sidelines. One, you have to wonder how that affects Auburn here with a 10-point lead. Your in-game number, though, we should update you. It dropped significantly. 12.5 before we went to break, down to 7.5. In-game total, 130.5. Will, while we were in break, grab some of Michigan State there in the points. But this is a brutal loss for Auburn. Hopefully it doesn't affect today's outcome, but more importantly, should they hold on and win, doesn't impact the Final Four.
Yeah, and who knows the severity. He could pop up and be back in the game in 2 minutes, and he could be hurt seriously and not back. So we'll have to see. Michigan one field goal in the last 4 minutes and change. The game has really come to a stall here. The live total is down to 130.5. As nobody can score now, 128.5. So we've really hit a lull scoring wise. Only 9 minutes left. If you're Auburn, I know you got no Broome and things are a little tight, but you got to figure you could do enough to at least hold on to the game. But a little opening here for Michigan State. Let me ask you a current number: 7.5, 128.5. Are there bets to be made? I'll even give you the money line plus 470 on Michigan State. Figuring, all right, the best player for Auburn is out. Are any of those numbers appealing to you?
I still think the under's the play. Keep in mind, Broome being out of the game, that takes away the most reliable scoring weapon for Auburn as well down the stretch. So the three ball hasn't been falling. Auburn's been super dependent on Broome. 22 points today, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. He makes this engine go. Now, I know he missed some games during the year and they were fine, but the three ball's not falling. They're 5 of 21 beyond the arc. I think if I'm looking at this game, I go under 129.5 right now.
Okay, makes sense.
And there is Auburn the other way to make it a 12-point game. So
the only concern with the under, we're both in the bonus already, and Michigan State's going to be in a position where they're going to eventually, we're not there yet, but with 8 and change left, you start to get to 4 or 5 minutes. If this score is still the same, score quick, foul, score quick, foul. You're going to have to play the foul game, it looks like. So I'd be worried about a foul fest here towards the end.
That is a pretty floater there, yeah, Michigan State. Kohler just drops one in. He's up to 14, by the way. He's having a great game. That would be the guy that concerns me without Johni Broome on the floor. All of a sudden, Jackson Kohler has a lot more room to operate in the paint. He had 12 and 8 with Broome there, just got a bucket. If I'm Sparty, I'm just feeding him in the post from here on out and hoping my defense can slow up Auburn. They get a stop. Kohler gets the board, and now Sparty's in transition. This could be interesting if Broome doesn't enter back in the game because Kohler is the leading scorer for Sparty right now.
Yeah, and remember, you're in the bonus too, so you go to the hole. Any sort of contact gives you. Now, the 1-and-1 can be a double-edged sword because you missed that. It's almost like a turnover, but you are in the bonus. So if you want to play through the post and go inside, and Auburn is prone to fouling, the foul line can be your friend here, chasing points with a chance to score with the clock stopped. Just you're going to have, and here would be my concern with Michigan State in terms of actually come back and winning the game. Can you score enough? 8 for 21 field goals this half. They just don't shoot it well enough. You're chasing 10 points. You're basically playing a road game. So it does feel like Auburn's in good shape to hold on. I don't think they're in danger of losing this game, but in terms of getting in the number, we'll see if Michigan State here can make a run.
Sparty going to the line, down 52-42, a foul on a shot in the paint, 7.5 to go. We'll have a timeout on the floor. We'll get you the official number right now. Auburn's down to a 6.5-point favorite. Total's 128.5. These are obviously big free throws, but this game did just get interesting with Broome off the floor dealing with the elbow injury. That is massive. Now, an update that's selfish. Diamondbacks down 6-2 on the Cubs in the 8th. I'm on team total over 4.5. They have 2 on and nobody out, Will. Can we get this freaking bet home? The entire show, this team has been toying with me. I got to look at how many runners they've left on base. Where is that? Let's see. Left on base, they've left 11 on base. 11.
Tough.
And Marte pops one
back
up.
to Broome for a second. Just from you watching it, did it look serious? Because it didn't look great. I would have to admit, like I don't want to sit here, oh, he's going to miss this or miss that. Who knows? We could come back for commercial. He's back in the game. But it did not look good, I would say that.
I thought when he went down, he hurt his ankle, and then he held his arm. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
maybe both are hurt. I'm purely speculating here, but he immediately grabbed his elbow like something was wrong.
Yeah,
so
like he hyperextended it or something.
Yeah, because it looked like he got like bent the wrong way as he was falling to the ground, going for a rebound. Look, I'm a little concerned. I would be concerned if I was someone with an Auburn ticket in pocket, because everything funnels through him. You need him at 100%. I mean, I'm with you. It didn't look good.
Florida would, I think, have a nice night against Auburn if they were ever to get an Auburn team without Broom. That could get ugly.
Nope. And we got a shot in the gap by Arizona. That's going to be a double. That's going to plate some runs. 8th inning. 3rd run is home. Can we get the 4th run? Can we get the 4th run? I put 4 runs home. I got a runner in scoring position thanks to Perdomo. A single gets me over 4.5. You love to see it, Will. Let's go, Arizona.
Wow, the drama is palpable.
The drama for my one single bet. Hey, but it was available, vsin.com/picks. Will's picks were up there. I saw he laid 4.5 with Auburn. That, I don't want to say it looks pretty good right now still. I know you don't like it when I do that, but it still looks pretty good. I do have some more bets available that we should get into, and that will be our best bets. Best bets are brought to you by GBank, the official bank of VSiN. GBank's upping the ante with up to a $750 bonus for new GBank Visa Signature Card customers. First, new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening receive a $250 bonus. In addition, you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of the account opening, you'll receive another $500 bonus. That's potentially a $750 bonus. Apply now at vsin.com/gbank. That's vsin.com/gbank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Okay. We have a game.
Boy.
I just saw.
You're not watching, are you?
I just saw. I was doing the read. Arizona went over the total. 6 runs now. A home run thanks to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Boom. A Swedelson show. We finally have a little bit of time to cool off because that's a 3-0 day in baseball for your boy. But the best bets are yet to come. That's the past. We look forward to the future here on the show, Will. We can't live in the past. We have to look ahead. So, ugly game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend like this is must-watch TV. But for a lot of my player props, I find they don't come home if I actually watch the game. If I turn it off, I'm good. So it is the Hornets taking on the Pelicans. New Orleans is laying 2.5. We have 2 bets. Eves Missy over 9.5 rebounds. Hornets allow the 3rd most boards to centers. And Bridges over 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Miles Bridges gets a lot of the ball of the shots when a lot of guys are out. Josh Green's out, Seth Curry's out, Mark Williams is out, and New Orleans is the worst in basketball defending small forwards. So those are the 2 plays there in the Hornets and the Pelicans. An update here with Auburn and Michigan State. 52 to 44 is the score. Michigan State just drained both free throws with 7.5 to go, Will. So it's getting interesting. I will say that.
I heard Tracy Wolfson's report. As I'm listening to you, I could hear parts of it. I guess Broom told the team to finish the game without him, and he was emotional. The family was emotional. So, again, reading the tea leaves doesn't sound good, at least for his return to this game. It sounds like it'd be a long shot that he'd be back in the next 7 minutes, and who knows going forward.
That is just absolutely devastating.
Tough.
You got to be kidding me. I'm looking for the Twitter doctors to see what they're saying on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy's legit, but this guy, Dr. Evan Jeffries at Game Injury Doc, I've seen him pop up from time to time. But again, I don't know his full credentials. He says it appears that Broom hyperextended his right elbow, left knee, and sprained his ankle at the same time. Okay, you know what?
I don't mean to laugh. But.
You know that guy's ridiculous. That can't be true. He's got followers on Twitter though, so who the hell knows? But that's the report from that guy just looking on the outside. He knows as much as we do, but that's a wild report to say he did all 3 of those things. Sparty at the line again, and they just hit a free throw. So we're looking at 54-46 now. Auburn's laying 6.5, 130.5 is your total. We're not going to be able to take you through the end of this game. However, our friend Scott Seidenberg will. He'll come up next. He's got all the action covered here. He'll get you some live wagers to place, and then after him, Joe Serralo will wrap up the entire day of betting. Baseball, basketball, hockey, he's got it covered for you. And wake up every single weekday morning with our guys, Jensen Lewis, Dave Ross. It's VSiN by the books. VSiN's got you covered every which way. Become a pro right now for $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe to do so. You'll get everything we do over on the website. For Will Hill, I'm Dustin Swedelson. Don't go anywhere. Scott Seidenberg's got you next as Live Bet Sunday rolls on.